welcome back to the Wizard Weekly, where we talk about everything in gaming. So usually I like to be the, day one ground reporter on all the ways that Nintendo likes to fuck over the community in their most creative ways possible that they have, access to with their endless supply of, fucking Mario coins in their bank account. Because for the last 2 decades, they've been going ham in just any form of DMCA, copyright, or any form of, uses of their IPs in ways that they don't think is family friendly that they like to bring to, even though they have some really weird ass advertisements from the early 2000s they don't want to talk about no more. Like, this was the kind of shit that they were on back in the day. Yet if they catch you pirating one of their old ass NES games that are probably older than the legal team that are going to go after you for pirating that game, it's up and it sucks. So yeah, that's Nintendo. Anyways, the last time that I talked about Nintendo's brigade on piracy, we talked about the case of James Williams, the aka Archbox on Reddit and whatnot. The dude who was a lead moderator on the subreddit of Switch piracy that, like I said, I have nothing to do with, and nobody watching this video has anything to do with. I got you guys. But basically, with this dragged ass case, Nintendo, they went after Archbox for being a pillar in obviously this way that many Nintendo pirated games get trafficked in the underground of the internets and shit. So they went after him, and he basically dodged him for about a year. At first he denied the claims that they were bringing upon him, but then he just went ghost and shit. And then after failing to represent himself in any way as far as like a court order, the case that Nintendo brought reached the default, meaning that they automatically won, and the plaintiff just gets whatever they want. In this case, Nintendo, we thought they were just gonna put this guy away, Gary Bowser the shit out of him, make him pay for the rest of his life, may put him in jail, who knows what the hell they're gonna do, put him in a fucking underground dungeon with all their old ass IPs that they don't want to make new remakes out of anymore. But apparently it seems that Nintendo, they want to go even deeper into this whole rabbit hole that James Williams was connected to, as far as the subreddits and all the websites that he had that charged payments for, obviously, paying for modified Switch hardware, games, anywhere that all this stuff was trafficked. Nintendo, they want to do even more of a deep dive, which is obvious. I mean, Nintendo recently just got control over the 𝐕𝐃𝐒, the whole name and freaking ownership of that shit. So they're obviously gonna do that with something like this. But the reason this is concerned, because they want to go over business documents that could lead to even more takedowns. And normally, I'd say, as far as like people that just on the internet, maybe you did something not so Nintendo friendly, you downloaded something that you probably get killed for by Nintendo officials. I just write it off because there's thousands of people that would do that. As long as they just take down the head, they want to go after the body. But this is Nintendo we're talking about. I can't guarantee your safety. According to this court document filed November 22nd, 2024, the plaintiff, which is Nintendo in this case, seeks leave to serve subpoena for business records on 8 service providers, including Namecheap, never heard of that, Tusco's, GoDaddy, which is a website building platform, Cloudflare, GitHub, Discord, Google, and Reddit. Yeah. These subpoenas will be limited scope and seek information confirming and identifying account holders and the sources of any payments made. Now, keep in mind, when we went over the original James Williams Archbox case, Nintendo, they showed the details of how they spent months, tracking and doxing this guy to make sure that they had the real address that he was having his operating services from. And the reason that I pointed that out in the last video is because people, obviously like James Williams, who tried to dodge this whole thing, think that Nintendo, they don't have ways of just using simple research to dox and figure out where you live. So them having access to payment records, which is likely going to be even more of a tip to where any of these people that potentially participated in any of these services are going to be able to get subpoenas from, that's not that good of a good thing. Now, luckily, all of this right now is just requests from Nintendo's team to get these records and shit. They can't just do it because obviously you just can't go into Nintendo's not Nintendo but Reddit services and just access their records, and that's a violation. And again, I know this is kind of stupid to say, but if it was any other company, I would think that even if you got like a letter or something, it was just one of those ISP letters that warn you when you're using, like, you're doing something stupid like on the internet that don't really have much meaning behind it. They're just trying to scare you. But again, this is Nintendo. They have shown time and time again that they will crash out on a child if they have to, just to get the point across as far as like their intellectual properties. So my advice to anyone out there is to be careful, and if you have your names tied to any of this stuff, pray to your pray to your deity. And moving on, Valve's Steam platform being one of the biggest, and for some the biggest platform to buy games from on the PC market, them being, you know, in that title, it obviously opens them up for a lot of criticism for, you know, how they decide to run their business to remain profitable at that scope of, you know, of business, and, you know, to make sure, you know, everything is running gravy. And one of the things that transcended beyond just, you know, Steam, but the whole game marketplace scenario right now was the fact that Steam and a lot of other platforms, they take a 30% cut of all game sales for all the people that, you know, decide to publish their games on the service. And back in 2021, Steam got sued specifically for this 30% cut by Wolfire Games because they just thought that, you know, this is just a really egregious thing to do, and that 30% is too much for, you know, especially those really big games that make a lot of money. They claimed that Steam was using their name and their power in the whole, you know, gaming sphere on PC to, you know, lean on all these developers into paying this 30% cut, and that they didn't really have a choice to, you know, do anything against that. And initially, like this article states, that original case that Wolfire Games presented in court, it died down almost immediately, since they couldn't provide sufficient evidence to claim that Steam was doing anything egregious or out of the norm, since, you know, like I just said, it was a 30% cut was the norm for many other studios as well. Then they came back in 2022 with better evidence, and that time they even had the backing of another studio, which I forget the name of. Okay, they had the backing of multimedia production VR company Dark Cat Studios, since they already had another antitrust lawsuit that they presented against Steam before Wolfire Games. So they just kind of combined their forces together to, you know, take down Game Newell's shit. And then that brings us to today, where unfortunately on the holiday, it was announced that this whole case that was originally just a regular lawsuit from Wolfire Games has turned into a class action lawsuit, meaning that now that it is both Wolfire Games and Dark Cat Studios, if they manage to win this, you know, rebuttal against the 30% cut of all the game sales that Steam takes, this could reimburse a lot of people that had to pay this 30% share between January of 28, what is that? Yeah, any game sale on or after January 28th of 2017. So that's a lot of people that Steam had to pay a lot, and I mean a lot of money. Like, dude, think of all the day one game sales that you've seen since 2017 of all these, you know, big name studios, and how they like to brag about, you know, what they sold on the first day. Think of all of just those sales alone, and how much that would equate to, you know, a 30% cut that they would have to pay Steam, that they would have to get back. Holy shit. Now, obviously, as you can probably tell, this is a really timely thing that takes a lot of time. Like, the case got brought upon in 2021, and it's only reaching this stage in 2024. So if this was to reach like some sort of like decision that will be groundbreaking for Steam's business, it wouldn't be obviously for like a couple of years from now. But the fact that we could see a change in the shift of, you know, what Steam charges their developers, and likely what the rest of the freaking studios are going to start charging, since Steam is, like I said, holds a really big weight in the whole PC gaming sphere, that is definitely something to think about. So, you know, I'm going to be keeping tabs on the story and see how it pans out in the next couple of years. What's your favorite arcade game? Well, a Centipede. And moving on, Xbox president Sarah Bond, she recently shared some really weird news as far as the Xbox app goes, since, you know, it was recently announced earlier in the year that, you know, the Xbox app is going to be hosting their own games for you to be able to play, obviously likely through cloud gaming, and maybe even do some natively ran games on the mobile platform. So that's pretty cool. But basically yesterday, she announced that they had plans to launch all these new features on the Xbox app this month, since, you know, it was announced earlier in the year that Google, their whole reign on, you know, the mobile gaming and just the Google Play Store and shit, for a 3-year period, Google, they can't block the install of any other game browser other than Google Play Store on Android devices, which is a really, really big thing when you think about all the, you know, Android phones that you brought over the years that likely have, you know, the Google Play Store installed already. So they obviously have plans to implement these new features on the Xbox app really soon. But unfortunately yesterday, Sarah Bond, she tweeted on Blue Sky, tweeted is crazy, but she said on Blue Sky that due to a temporary administrative stay recently granted by the courts, we are currently unable to launch these features as planned. Our team has the functionality built and ready to go live as soon as the court makes a final decision. like I said, just weird. Now, everyone and their mom knows that, you know, when it comes to Microsoft and the government, at least as far as the FTC and, you know, that agency, they aren't on the best of terms. You know, when Microsoft was going through the whole Activision Blizzard deal phase and trying to get that passed for over a year, they threw as many obstacles as they could at Microsoft's legal team to make sure that you know, acquisition did not get passed. But unfortunately, you know, as we already know by now, that just did not happen. And the FTC, they didn't even stop then. You know, they tried to get the thing appealed, which I'm not sure exactly how many appeals that shit works. Like the first time I remember they announced the appeal, that got denied. And then there was a second time, so I'm not sure if that's, you know, ongoing, if that got denied as well. I haven't kept up on that. But, you know, Microsoft and the government, they do have some beef just because of monopoly concerns. So we're not sure if that's got something to do with this, or maybe there's some sort of other agency that, you know, is just blocking this, or maybe something with Google, you know, popping up. It could be a lot of factors that could, you know, play into why Xbox isn't getting, you know, their app on the App Store in the way that they want to. But I doubt it's going to be anything substantial or long lasting, since, you know, like it or not, you know, Google's Play Store is going to be open to a lot of new things, and, you know, blocking Xbox from being one of those people isn't going to hold well. Especially with Xbox launching their whole new, you know, campaign of this is an Xbox, where basically anything with a screen and internet connection, you can play Xbox games on. So, you know, I don't think it's going to last that long. Either way, still weird, but I'm still looking forward to whatever Xbox has planned to launch on the mobile platform. And lastly for the day, one of the many advantages of playing on PC is the fact that Steam, they don't give a fuck, and they will give you a discount almost any time of the year, just for the sake of it. And right now, we have the Steam Autumn Sale that's going on from now until December 4th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. And unfortunately, you know, my pockets, they're locked up right now because, like you guys probably saw in one of my last freaking shopping videos, I already bought like 2 games that I'm playing right now. I'm already playing well, I got the Xbox Game Pass for the rest of the month, so I'm playing freaking Sea of the Stars on that. Late nights I'm playing Brothership on the Nintendo Switch. So I'm not in the you know, spirit to buy anything, but I am gonna look through the Steam sale just for this fuck of it, because I maybe want to buy something. Ace Combat, dude, I played Ace Combat. Which one did I have on the PS2? I played the hell. Let me see if I can go find it. Okay, negative on that. I guess that's not on this floor or wherever it is. But I played like Ace Combat 2, or whichever one that had the greatest hits version on the PS2. Like, I played that a lot. I've heard some really mixed things about Ace Combat 7 though. Here it says very positive, but I've heard mixed things about this, at least on PlayStation. I don't know. City Skylines, that's pretty cool. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, you couldn't even pay me to play that shit. Total War Rome. Which Total War did I play? It's the one with, it's the blue one with the, I think it was Total War 1. Let me see, cause let me see. Total War Medieval 2. This is the one. Yes, this is in like 2006, 2007. Yes, this is the one I've played before. Very interesting RTS strategy games. Got the usual shit on discount: Stardew Valley, Sea of Thieves, Spider-Man Remastered, Farming Simulator. This is 2022 though. 2K24, Red Dead 2 for $20. Is that the lowest it's ever been? Like, I remember waiting for this game to go on sale like years ago, and I've never seen it go past like under like 30. So is this the lowest ever been, or am I just not paying attention? No. Okay, grid view. What we got? Need for Speed Unbound for $5. I paid 70. Look, oh my fucking god! I paid 70 in 2022 for this game, and I haven't even played it for like in a year. $5. It really makes you want to stop paying full price for anything. For Call of the Wild, I got this game for cheap too. I got it off of a G2A key, so I'm not mad at that price. But you know, Mad Max, heard some cool things about that title. I think this is all the deep discount shits. Let's see what else they got. Play that, The Binding of Isaac. That was some crazy shit. I remember watching YouTubers play that back like is it here 2014, 2015. Dude, I was a YouTube head watching Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Mess Yourself, PewDiePie. So fucking crazy. Hades, amazing game. Left 4 Dead 2. Disco Elysium, one of the best RPG titles to date. Crazy. I'm trying to see if there's any like new titles. I saw they had Metaphor Contagion for $52, so that's a good deal. Mafia 3, I gotta play Mafia 2, beat Mafia 1. I also saw that 2K, they removed that launcher from all their games, so that's pretty cool too. Hogwarts for 20, wow. That's surprising because this game is really like popular, especially on Switch now, since it was that last place that I got it ported to. I gotta get out of here, bro. I'm spending too much time on this. All right, if you enjoyed, leave a like on the video, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.